Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Scott. Right.
This is I've just been asked to present an idea from the former CEO David Moffat of New Zealand Rugby, and it's an idea to galvanise support back home in New Zealand to show you guys how much you loved back home and how much people want you to win this final. And his idea is simply that to get all school kids this week to wear something black to the games, either black socks or shirts or shorts, and then get the schools to line them all up on the field, maybe in an A-B, send some photos to you guys. What would you feel about that?
I feel an immense amount of pride and support. We've felt that through the whole tournament, even without that concept, so to have that would be bloody good. I see the Highlanders have changed their logo to black too, so there's already a little bit of a movement going, which is fantastic.
I actually ran it past Foz. He said it was a great idea as well, so you'd be more than happy then.
Absolutely.
So after dominant win in the semi-final, dominant win in the quarter-final, could you just talk about the group's confidence, I suppose, in terms of their performance heading in to the final?
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects of our game that are working, and that builds belief. It's something that we've been working on for quite a while, and to see it work under those moments, I guess, in the quarters and semis, it's very pleasing. So it's just about harnessing that now and making sure we do it again.
Did you learn anything new about the Springboks in that semi-final? I suppose England probably the better team for the most part of that game, but just show you the Springboks are never out of it.
Oh, never. That's always their mentality. They come from a country where they're very hardened and they know how to stay in the fight and to win the fight, and they've shown that many years. They showed that in the last World Cup as well. So not much of their DNA has changed, no.
Scott, what's your Scott, what's the team review told you about perhaps what you need to improve on from Friday night as you get into one?
Yeah, just being able to see space and not narrowing in those moments. Like Argentina, we're extremely physical and we had to work hard to get through. But there's also space around that, so although the Springboks will be very similar, they apply a lot of pressure and come at you quite quickly. So we still have to have time to be able to see that space and put the ball into that space. And on the other side of the ball, big men running down hard, we can't sit and wait, and we want to meet that head on. A set piece just needs to be extremely accurate. What's shown through the tournament is that scrum is you need to be on, and every single scrum. So those are the key things we took out, and ideally they line up with a lot of South Africa's strengths as well.
What relevance does the Twickenham game or pre-tournament, if any, have this week? Does it motivate you? Do you use it at all?
Well, not so much on the motivational aspect, but more in scenarios. How do we respond? So we took a lot of learning out of that, particularly when we're down to 13 men, how we want to play the game. And it's shown through the tournament that we've had a few cards, and I think we've shown that we've learned through that. So that's what we'll take forward from that game.
Scott, what are the particular defensive challenges that the Boks pose? Because I guess when we're looking at them from the stands, it seems a reasonably kind of simple attacking game. They play a lot of kicking, a lot of direct running, but I'm sure if you guys dig down into it, there's some complexities there.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely their kicking game. So we haven't encountered a lot of that. So that's something we're aware of and we'll build into this week. They're very good at getting up in the air and getting the ball back, and that's one of when they do get excited, is about turning over the ball and putting it into space again and behind or spreading it wide and playing from that. And when they do that well, they've shown to score tries. They scored tries off the aerial stuff as well, catching that and regathering against us and other teams in this World Cup. So, like I say, we'll definitely be building our detail into how we can win those moments.
And just obviously there's a balance between physical and mental in a week like this, particularly at the end of a long tournament. Is it, as coaches, are you very aware of the need to kind of keep as much freshness as you can and have that mental
There's two parts to that, I think. There's the bodies, but looking at how we're tracking, and we've got 33 fit men. A number of those guys have come back from injury lately, so they haven't felt the full wear and tear of the whole tournament, and they actually feel quite fresh. And when you parts of your game work through the quarterfinal and semi-final, when that works and you get belief out of that, it's also mental freshness. It's not something that drags you down. So both mentally and physically, we're ready for this. We're quite excited already, and like I said last week, we're probably just going to have to hold the boys back a little bit.
Scott, Jan de Koning, there we go. Sorry. You played each other twice already this year, and in both games, the team that got out the blocks the fastest is the one that went on to win. How important is that start going to be in this game, particularly?
Yeah, it's no secret. Both sides will be focusing on that first 20 minutes, I imagine. And it's who can execute with accuracy. We've talked about that this morning. We need to be extremely accurate, show the pitches that we want to show, and be able to apply pressure at the same time. But like I say, the Boks have always come out and wanted to start well, and we'll take our lessons from Mount Smart and want to do the same.
What's the difference between the two games, kicking game? Because in the first one in Auckland, you guys won the aerial battle. Second one, they won the aerial battle. What's the difference in those two games?
We won and they won.
Yeah.
The first person into the air to win the space, probably. We felt we were a little bit hungrier, maybe a little bit quicker in that first game, and in the second game we were slow. We were slow to get into the air, we were slow to get back and assist and help, and they beat us into that space, so whoever will win those spaces will win that battle.
Scott, how would you rate Jody Barrett on the defensive aspect, and could you give us an insight how the work you did with him, how you empowered him in this role?
Yeah, well, I see he got player of the match the other day. He was massive in defence. He attempted the most tackles, but what was the pleasing aspect for me was he actually applied pressure. So the difference between Ireland, where we were probably holding a little bit and not trying to show any space in our line, whereas against Argentina, the opportunity that arose, he went out and pressured that. So he saw the pitches a lot earlier and he backed himself to go and do it, and those around him supported him in that, and he made quite a difference for us. So like on that edge when they wanted to go, he was able to shut that down and pressure that. So he made some big leaps there.
Would you say he stepped as the boss of your defence?
I've got 8 in my group, but he has been the one I've worked with the closest around our set piece defence, and he on the field he'll lead that. But like I say, with the other 8 guys, they've got different areas of the game that they're going to lead. So, but he's one of them. Yeah.
Scott, a bit of rain forecast around Paris this week. Will that affect your game plan on attack or defence?
No.
And
Sorry, yeah. No, I don't think so. We know the way we want to play. We back ourselves to that. We've trained the skill set to function in the wet. It was a little bit slippery the other day. Most grounds that we find that we've come to, there's been some dew or some wetness on the ground, and we've been able to handle that.
And just a word on Sam Kane, how impressed have you been with him, both as a player and a captain?
He's immense. Quite often I go up to him after he's addressed the team and just tell him how inspired I was. Often I get goosebumps listening to him, and I feel like putting the boots on myself half the time. And what we talk about is in our actions. So he speaks really well, but now he's backing that up with his actions as well.
I'm not sure if you've seen that World Rugby have announced they're reviewing the allegations of discriminatory language used during England and South Africa. How much are you guys following that, and what difference would it make if a player like Bongi wasn't on the field?
Yeah, no, we're not really following it as such. I learned about that this morning. It's something World Rugby will deal with. I understand the process is still ongoing, so, but if anything came of that for them, I imagine it'd be a massive dent for them. He's a leader of their team. When Sia goes off, then he becomes the captain, so I imagine that that would really impact them, yeah.
Hi Scott. Saturday will represent the last game for a lot of legends of New Zealand rugby. Just one in particular, if you could reflect on the career of Aaron Smith and his legacy for the All Blacks.
He's a guy I've worked with for a long time, down with the Highlanders and now with the All Blacks. He's got a special place in my heart because of his passion. The way he applies himself every single day is for the betterment of the team, and that's grown his legacy. He's an absolute professional on and off the field. He gets his body right, he gets his mind right, and he gives it nothing short of 100 every single time. And he's a player in my group in the defence, and the passion he shows and the willingness is just contagious, and I just think the world of him, really.
Scott, a lot was spoken about last week about being able to reset after that quarterfinal. So well, in the semis, is it much of the same this week in how you approach it and how you get that reset right?
Yeah, probably a little bit different. We've had an extra day to recover, and with what probably comes freshness, whereas the other day was a 6-day turnaround, so we had to manage that and then build the excitement within the group, whereas this week takes care of itself. Like I say, with that extra day, we probably have to hold the boys back a little bit, and not play the game too early. And as coaches as well and staff, we have to do that as well. Like, everyone's excited about the week, so just being able to manage that.
And I know you guys didn't necessarily have a preference on who you played in this final, but how special that is the Springboks given the history between the two teams and what's on the line.
Yeah, it's massive. Remember touring there many years ago, and I was blown away by the passion of the people. They were very competitive, and they told you, and they were in your face. But as soon as the whistle went, some of the best people to socialise with and have a barbecue, a braai and a beer. That respect has never gone away, and I doubt it ever will, between the All Blacks and the South Africans. And it's something we treasure. That fierce competitiveness on the field, but afterwards just being able to have a yak and be good men.
Scott, it's obviously a massive week. Will you do anything different to mark the fact that it's a World Cup final to try? And you talked about Sam, dressing the group and inspiring the team. Will you do anything to mark the occasion to try and elevate things a little bit? Anything special?
I don't know. I don't think it needs any elevation or anything special. I don't think there's anything planned. I haven't heard of anything, but I wouldn't think we would. We just go bone deep in terms of our preparation and just slowly build it as we go. And like I said, probably do a little bit less than adding anything in.
Scott, down the back. Defence is often about attitude, but also systems. What's clicked within this team on defence, and how important was that stanza against Ireland for confidence in the defence?
It's something that we look last year in particular where we got beaten and how we got beaten. We were tending to defend man system, and Ireland were too good last year in being able to put the ball into spaces and get through us and play through us. Now, a lot of that is coached in Super Rugby in New Zealand, and I do know that Northern Hemisphere sides in particular, they will target Kiwis who play up here because they know they're going to be man-focused rather than ball-focused. So we had to shift our skill set in the way we looked at things as defenders, and so planted the seed earlier this year with the leaders, got them to work through it through the Super, and then it got tested early on, and throughout all the games we've actually been tested quite thoroughly on that. However, when the push came to shove, particularly with Ireland, who were going to test us the most, it stood up, and that was really pleasing. It still is relevant against the South African boys, who you don't need to make as many decisions on the ball, but you still need to be able to see where the ball's going and then watch that and put some bodies in front of them. So that's probably been the biggest shift for us, and we'll see if we can hold up again.
Do you feel at home next to the racetrack?
A little bit of looking out there, yeah. A little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, Scott, can I just ask you on the kicking game that you talked about earlier, countering the kicking game? Any specific stuff you're going to be doing this week to work on that? I read some of the English work with wet balls, for example, ahead of Saturday's game. What would you be doing?
Sorry, can you repeat the start of it? I missed the start.
Countering the kicking game.
Countering the kicking game, yeah. Like I just said, just making sure that our whoever's catching the ball can actually get up and win and catch it. It's as simple as that. If we do that, then we control the ball and what we can do with it. If we don't win that airspace and get up and catch it, then, like I said, it's one of South Africa's main threats are the ability to play quickly off those turnovers, and we don't want to give them that opportunity.
Scott, there was a bit of needle in the England-South Africa game. South Africa trying to impose themselves with some flashpoints, hands not shaking at the end, celebrations in their face. What did you make of that? And was it the spirit of rugby, do you think?
To be fair, I don't really know what went on after that. I haven't watched any of that or seen any of that. A lot of things happen on the field, and emotions are extremely high. People react differently in different situations. However, in the spirit of the game, once the whistle's blown and it's gone, then you should respect what has happened and shake hands and move on. Like I said, that's something we really respect with South Africa. We compete hard with them on the field, but we know once the whistle's gone, then we like to go into each other's change rooms and have a beer and talk about it and get on with each other. So that's what we're looking forward to.
You guys,
team, that's, we're just going to wrap it up there. Sorry, buddy. We've got Tomaiti and Sodi coming in now. Thank you very much, Stormy.
Thank you, team.